All right. What's going on, everybody, this morning? I'm not going to be on here too long, still recovering, but this is something that's just fresh in my mind. Actually, this video was the inspiration from Sean James. And I think he was actually responding to a subscriber of his who emailed him, different topics and donating in his Cash App. And I remember he was talking about, okay, well, it's a lot of, public school systems that's encouraging Black kids to get their GED, and it could be a certain issue on that. I just want to kind of talk about the differences that I actually looked up from the GED and the high school diploma. So your GED it stands for your General Education Development Program. Actually, that was adopted from the U.S. Armed Forces in 1940s, actually 1947 to be exact. And when the military personnel, they were fighting and stuff in the wars and stuff like that. But this is for individuals who decided to join the armed services, but then complete high school. And so, well, I will tell Jonathan World, in order for them to actually to have the academic skill levels and to compete and have civilian jobs after they graduate from school or whatever, they would have to take a GED class. And now, actually, it's adopted by the American Council of Education now, especially in Washington D.C. And it depends on where you're from or your particular career goals. Now, I will say this too. Now, you got many individuals, especially in America, they may not have the ability to complete at least 4 years of school. It can be due to family at home. It could due to they have to, quit school and just work a full-time job and to take care of a family. It can be very difficult. The transportation might be an issue. They might not have enough money for school lunches, or it's the fact that people run away from home, like they losing themselves. And it could be a lot of parental advisory, a lot of things that could really be happening as they growing up. Fortunately, I had like two parents in the household at the time, so that really helped me. And I didn't really have that option to think about getting a GED. I was like, okay, well, I'm at the social events. I'm at high school right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get my diploma. And I know how essential this is because it can help me apply for jobs, can help me get into a college that I want to go to. But with the GED, I'm going to talk about the differences. Differences that the age requirements. So you have to at least be 16 years old or older in order to take it. But you're not have to you can't graduate from high school. You're not supposed to be currently enrolled in high school. And also too, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, and it's a series of four subtests. You have to take the mathematical reasoning, the language arts. You got to take your science and your social studies. Okay, and I think if you get like a 580 and above, a lot of universities will admit you. You can get at least if you get at least on average 140. I think so. You can get up to 200 points. I think that's the max of each test. If you get up to 140 on each test, that would be actually really good to a lot of competing universities. Now you can still use your GED to get to a college. You can use your GED to apply for a job. Actually, more than 98% of college universities here in America will actually accept that. They will accept the GED. It's very popular in South Africa and India. People have been, doing a GED. They feel like it's a good route. Now, I won't say it's easier because you supposed to they combining a whole bunch of tests, right? In this constricted time frame that you're supposed to learn as equivalent to a high school senior. Okay, and excuse me. The only thing is that I will say take the ACT as well if you're trying to get to a pristine college because not only when you pass the certification, if you want to get and move on and get into a college or university, they're going to look at your application very thorough now because they're like, okay, well, this guy, what was the reasoning? How come he couldn't do the 4 years of a traditional high school? But at least he took the time to create, to complete his GED. Did he do any extracurricular activities? Did he do any type of internships while he was pursuing? Because that would help you stand out. Then write an essay, get a nice SAT or ACT score, and then that will actually up your chances. Now, I'm not saying it's not the end of the world. I think I know somebody personally who had a GED and was able to go to the armed services. It depends on your branch. Now, if you want to go to the Air Force specifically and you have a GED, you have to at least get a 65 and up on the ASVAB. Okay, so it doesn't disqualify you from actually, getting civilian jobs. You can be very successful, but at the same time, just do your research and it depends on your career goals. The high school diploma is more like, okay, a traditional path. At least you do 4 years of a educational institution. You got some people who probably will do like, so many people probably finish little as 2 or 3 years. It depends, how advanced they are in their academics. The thing is with that in the high school is that you have the ability to correct, link up with networks. You have the ability to, discover your passions. You're exposed to different areas of interest with different individuals, and so and then you can get to different sporting events as well, that can probably help you get scholarships to be successful into a higher university. So that's why I probably encourage a lot of children to go ahead and complete their high school diploma if they can, especially if they have the ability to. I know it's very difficult because especially if you in an environment, what's up BMT, especially if you're in an environment where people are bullying you mentally, physically, and spiritually, you might want to tend to drop out and be at home, and that's a whole another topic being homeschool. But for us, a high school diploma, if you persevere and keep going, then eventually, yes, you are able to achieve it. I mean, personally, I went through it. I wasn't so much of the bullying, but it's more like, yeah, the coursework could be very difficult at times, and if you get a bad grade, it kind of discourages you. Be like, damn, are you not smart enough to complete? Are you not smart enough to compete with your peers? And people want to talk about you, saying you're mentally slow, and that makes you kind of don't want to pursue anything or be around people for 8 hours of the day, because they thinking that you're inferior because you get a bad grade, as compared to like, okay, well, listen, if I can just get a GED, then I'll be good. I don't have to really deal with these people. So like I say, it all depends on your mental state. But I will say, like, especially if you're under your parents' roof, I mean, they kind of have to force you to go to school. I mean, especially you under the age of 18. And but you still, at the end of the day, you still can be successful in this world if you get a GED. And I would say, at least, I'm not preaching like education is the best thing, but I know that it will unlock a lot of jobs. It will unlock a lot of civilian opportunities if you decide to work for someone or work for a financial company. Now, you can be one of these individuals that drop out and start a business, but at the same time, you still got need connections, you still got to have smarts, you got to still have networks. So when you go to, when you at least get that diploma, if you went to a community college, I mean, you still can, transfer and go to a university because you had that piece of paper. So the certifications, it's kind of important though. But with the GED, yeah, man. The good thing about this with GD depends on your state. I know specifically for the state of Georgia, if you, I think you have to pay at least like, I think it's like $133 if you want to take the computer-based exam. If you want to take the pencil and paper exam, this is like $40 per subtest. Now, say if you pass mathematical reasoning and you pass science, but you fail language arts and social studies, you don't have to take mathematical reasoning and science again. You just take those other two classes that you failed, but you have to repay, and then you can go about your own pace. They got study prep. You go to Barnes and Nobles, they got Princeton GED exams, and you have to take this exam at a physical location. Wiregrass Technical Institute, that's a specific college in Valdosta, Georgia. You can go ahead and take that, and at that location, set it up and take it. It's a 7-hour test. Okay. So you got to, keep that in mind as well. I'm pretty sure they're going to have intermission and everything, but it's supposed to be a combined things of everything that you learn. And I just want to say this too. It's no like really discouragement, whatever path that you go to. Just I would say I would encourage everyone to go ahead and do their research. Do your research on what is best for you. What is best for you, what is best for your family, what can you do to be successful. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing some things. What's going on, BMT? Let's go ahead and share some things here so everybody can have a general different knowledge here. All right. So while GED and a high school diploma both signify that a student has come to possess a set amount of knowledge, there are major differences between the two, including the amount of time one has to put into getting a GED versus a high school diploma. For example, there are very minimal and maximum age requirements, as well as a variety of other differences. Figuring out which option is right for you will take a thorough evaluation of all your needs and what you expect to get in return. The first difference between most people will notice that difference in the age requirements. In most places, a person can take the GED at any time after they are 16 years old. The only thing is that they cannot have already graduated from high school and they cannot be currently attending a high school. Some states have other requirements they may have to meet in order to get a GED. As for being eligible for a high school diploma, there is no minimal age requirements, but you must have completed the coursework stipulated by the state of the satisfaction of the degree granting school. And now, most states gives students between 1 to 3 years after their 18th birthdays to complete their high school coursework on a taxpayer's dime. There are some states, however, they have high school completion courses for adults where the end result is a high school diploma, not a GED. Another key difference between a GED and a high school diploma is the time it takes to complete. For a high school diploma, right, a student may need to invest as much as 4 years, although many people manage to complete high school in as little as 3 years. A GED is a 7 hour test on 5 subject areas. The GED is graded in an interesting way. Every few years or so, some graduating high school students are selected to take a GED. In order to be awarded a GED, a candidate must do better on the test than 60% of the graduating high school seniors who took the test. This means that the passing grade on the GED may change over time. While no formal study is required, most recommend taking a prep course or otherwise spending a good deal of time preparing for the GED. Lastly, your future plans may dictate whether to try for a GED or a high school diploma. Many employers won't care whether or not you have a GED or a high school diploma. Similarly, most community colleges have no problem with many people with a GED instead of a high school diploma. If you want to go to a university or a 4 year college, you may want to consider getting a high school diploma. Or if that is impossible, spend a year. So that's the key word then. Spending a year at a community college so you can demonstrate your academic skill to a college or university. If you simply plan on going to work, your references, resume, and this job skills will bring you to the table will be much more important than whether you have a GED or not or a high school diploma. So yeah, I kind of agree with that in a way, man. So it's pretty much like just doing your research on these things, man. Whatever is good for you academically, I'll sit up here and say go ahead and do that. But I mean, with these two certifications, it's all about your interning, your workshop. I always encourage people to at least start off if you don't have enough money or have a full-time scholarship, full right scholarship to go to a university. You can start off with a community college, be there for a year or two. It's cost efficiently. They do definitely payment plans. You don't have to really take out too much of student loans like that. And then after you take your prerequisite courses, your general education, then you go ahead and go to a university and finish there your 2 years there. But then again, if you want to just go ahead and get the experience, I know you're young, you're starting to get away from home. It's a good thing to do that because at least high school diploma, it's like, hey, you completed a 4 year institution here you go. You don't have to really take any type of prep courses like that. You can just go ahead and enroll to a school with the fresh knowledge that you have, and just go ahead and just move forward. So it's a little, like I said, it's a little different. It's all depends on how you are, what kind of student you are. Because I know like some individuals, man, they may not be able to. It's probably the environment they're in. It might be the school that they with that pretty much don't push them to be where they need to be. You got counselors that may say, okay, well, you need to get your GED or you're not, capable of being in these regular classes. And so it can be a lot of discouragement that goes on behind the scenes. So I try not to judge anyone who actually get a GED or a high school diploma. It's all about pretty much your motivation, your work experience. If you're ready to learn, you're ready to grow, then that's all that matters, at the end of the day, man. So I say that, just do the best you can on that, man. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it on that. See if I look up some other information here. Oh yeah, this is actually a really good source from Indeed.com. Yeah, and it's not easier as well. High school students will often have to complete exams in each of their classes to earn grades that make them eligible for graduation, so they can take advantage of tutoring to master difficult topics and request extra credit to make up for lower scores. So GED candidates are required to successfully complete a series of 4 exams, and they can include mathematical reasoning, science, language, arts, and social studies, demonstrating lessons they have learned in a traditional high school program. An experience involved with each type of educational opportunity also differs. Individuals who choose to complete a high school diploma have the opportunity to experience more than the academic side of school, and they can enjoy school events. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's all we have to say. Yeah, you just do your research, consider where you are academically, take your schedule and your other responsibilities into account, and think of your career goals. That's the key thing here. So if you guys want to go ahead, look this information up, the reference and the sources, it can be on Indeed.com. They can give you some more information about this, and hopefully you make an educational decision though. But that's all we have to say. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Thank you for everyone here in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'm out. Deuces.